What's up, everybody? This is Goku. As I promised, this is my 60 subscriber special. What if Iron Man was in Dragon Ball? Now, if you guys are wondering, I'm starting for the original Dragon Ball saga. Now, if you're wondering, the investments of Stark Industries and practically Capital Corp, who once again when combine things to Tony's help, are practically deciding to combine the two rivals into one. If we're in this timeline, most likely the Stark Industries and the Castle Corp most likely been rivals. Friendly rivals, but not to the extent of fighting one another. So yeah. Tony, of course, will go most likely the same accidents as he does, but it's actually the Red Ribbon Army he's actually getting captured by. So yeah. Because of that, most likely Tony been irritated that he was actually able to get captured by this army. If we didn't the draw actually wanted to actually take not only Castle Cores but also Stark Industries tech so he can garrett and even create much more powerful androids that he's thinking for the future. If Tony would have been captured by the time that Goku will most likely would appear in a Red Ribbon army. Of course, Tony will most likely be able to build his original armor and then fight some of the soldiers. Eventually, he will most likely encounter Goku. He actually asks the kid, what is he doing here? Shouldn't he be at school or something? Well, of course, Goku tells him that he's taking out the army because of the Dragon Balls. Of course, Tony actually knows the Dragon Balls and actually wants to research them or to see if they can do something. He actually heard that they can grant wishes, but Tony actually doesn't have any wishes. He probably has all he has, but for now, he actually thinks that maybe saving the war is actually much more safe than ever. If they had the also called Dragon Balls, and they can grant any wishes as he actually managed to research, then it's gonna be a bad thing if they use them. So he decides to help out Goku, but he knows his armor for now is not gonna help him that much. Well, he tells Goku that he's gonna help him as much as he can. With Goku accepting Iron Man's help, they start to take out the army much more easy, with Tony killing some of them, knowing that they cannot change. Of course, Goku does spare some of them, but Tony just decides to kill all of them, knowing that they might not change. Of course, Tony will try and find Dr. Zhou, but Dr. Zhou will able to escape and hide off one of the bunkers that the Red Army has. Now, for the bosses of the Red Ribbon Army, they'll most likely been taken down by Tony and Goku like in the original. Also, because of Tony actually seeing Goku how powerful he is, Tony actually decides to train and actually asks Goku how he became so strong. Eventually, Tony will decide to actually take DNA sample of Goku, with of course Goku complying, as he doesn't actually see the problem with it. Of course, Iron Man does a little bit of cut to Goku's skin, but also make sure to patch it up just in case. With this, they was actually able to find out that Goku is actually not a human, but an alien called Saiyan. It's actually Tony is able to finally research Goku. Eventually, after 1 year, Tony is actually able to pull out a lot of research about the Saiyan race. Of course, Tony does decide to use the Dragon Balls of learning about what the Saiyan race is and about any other races that exist in the universe. Which are able to grant Tony's this particular knowledge, Tony is actually incredibly surprised at how many races exist in the universe. If wondering, Tony is the only Avenger that will exist in this timeline of Dragon Ball, so it's only him. So most likely he'll be able to find out about the Frost Demons, the Saiyans, your Dreadians, and many other races that exist in Universe 7. You actually been surprised how that even the Makians who created Dragon Balls actually exist in another time, in another planet. To decide that maybe he should do space travel, but he's not sure if his armor that he has right now will help him a lot. He then decides to do the Mark II and then the Mark III. The Mark III is most likely much more built of strength and speed than the original because of Tony, of course, seeing Goku. Eventually, Tony is able to actually find Goku one more at a time. Eventually, they decide to team up and eventually get our Dragon Balls once again. One calls Goku wanting to revive Topaz says, you could say the little kid's father. They're so yeah. Of course, Tony decides to help out Goku. Eventually, they actually go to Korin's tower. Of course, Tony is easily able to decide not to climb it, but to still use his armor. He actually is able to practically also help Goku get into a tower. Eventually, they meet Korin. But Korin decides to test both Goku and Iron Man into his trial. With Iron Man's upgrades to his suit being much more better than the original, he was actually able to keep up with Goku's speed and not even be faster than him because of actually able to acquire new technology. With this, of course, Iron Man and Goku try and catch Korin. Now, of course, Iron Man actually is able to figure out that Korin's probably testing him of their teamwork. So Iron Man decides to make a plan and tells Goku the plan. With, of course, being simple enough so Goku can understand it, Goku then uses his uses himself as a distraction so Iron Man can actually catch, or Tony can catch Korin. Of course, Korin is able to predict it, but the one that he did not predict was that Goku was not a distraction, Tony was. They were just faking out their roles. Which actually surprised Korin, as Goku is able to grab Korin just in the nick of time, as Iron Man grabs him as well and making sure that he does not escape. Korin decides to accept his defeat, eventually revealing the Divine Water, and actually deciding to grant it much more earlier than the original. Of course, Goku decides to try it out, even Tony, knowing the risk that he might die, but he decides to take the risk as he takes a shot, with Goku taking along. As both cuffs a little bit, both Goku and Tony will actually get immense potential unlocked. Because Goku probably got a little bit of an injury because of Tony, most likely and also gathering the Ultra Divine Water much more early, most likely Goku able to actually reach a power level of 150, and Tony actually increasing his power level. Now, I'm gonna say that Tony's actually much stronger than any average man, so most likely he has a power level of 15 because of his intelligence being increased. But thanks to the Ultra Divine Water, Tony's potential skyrockets him to 80, which is not that bad because of Tony's incredible potential. Now, I don't mean that he does possess a lot of potential like a Saiyan, but Tony will most likely focus on creating much more armors so he can handle much more powerful threats, if not even Goku himself. Of course, Iron Man does have a contingency for Goku. His practical weakness is needles, so he can just practically use needles to make Goku do something, so he just knows that in case. Of course, both Goku and of course Tony were able to practically defeat almost every evil. Eventually, when it comes to Piccolo King arc, Tony will be able to practically make his new armors, eventually creating the suitcase armor that is able to provide him with much more beneficial efficiency. If you're wondering, Tony is still not married to his future wife, Penny, so yeah. With this, of course, both Tony and Goku will face off against King Piccolo. If you're wondering, does the armament suit bring much more powerful level to Iron Man? I'm gonna say that the armament suit just increases his Tony's power level just by 2, but it's just incredibly enough. As Tony Tony decided to take training from Master Roshi as did Goku. With of course both in training. Of course, Tony was on the level of Goku, but he was actually pretty close to his level. With Goku actually growing, and eventually when he actually faces off against Piccolo, he actually has a power level of 250, while Tony has a staggering base power level of 130, thanks to Goku. But with his Iron Man suit, he's actually stronger than Goku at 260. If only yes, this Iron Man suit, now explaining the suitcase, is actually stronger than Goku and is much more durable. Of course, Goku can still break it, but it's actually much more faster and beneficial to speed and strength as well. Just like it was the previous Mark III. Both Goku and Iron Man were easily able to take out King Piccolo, with of course him able to speed out Piccolo Jr. Of course, Tony decides to maybe destroy the egg, but of course he's convinced that the egg doesn't actually sense that much evil. He also has the malicious intent that he senses once Piccolo and King Piccolo. If only yes, Iron Man were able to develop the key sense and able to teach it to Goku because of his intelligence. So yeah. With this, Tony will decide to let Piccolo Jr. grow and see if he may be able to provide a challenge to Goku. Of course, he does not think of challenging himself, but he does decide to train himself as well. Eventually, they are both brought into Kami's lookout. Eventually, Iron Man is actually pretty interested of finding out that Kami looks exactly like King Piccolo. Tony is actually able to figure out that Kami actually split himself into 2, and eventually Kami is actually surprised of the young man's intelligence, even though he's pretty young for his age. If you're wondering, Tony is in his 20s or 18s, you could say, while Goku is still the same age as he is in the original. Eventually, the 3 years time scale will go the same, with of course both Tony and Goku actually training under Kami. Now, their training is incredibly intense and powerful, with both Goku and Tony able to learn a lot much more key beneficials. Tony was actually able to upgrade his armor and even add a little bit of key boost to his armor. Actually able to figure out even to create a new Hulk Buster armor. Now, if you guys are wondering, yes, Goku and Iron Man both know about the grave situation. If you're wondering, Iron Man will most likely able to help Goku with the grave situation as he uses the Hulk Buster. If you're wondering, the Hulk Buster is incredibly big, but not as big as the original Grey Ape. I'm gonna say it's half the size of a Grey Ape, but it does contain much more power. So yeah, Tony was able to develop the Hulk Buster, you could say the Grey Ape Buster. With this new armor, he was also able to provide some of the materials that they're used for a time chamber, When able to strengthen his armor much better with a much more better material, Tony was able to provide his other armors that he's able to create on the lookout with much more better efficiency. If only, yes, he could practically create his own workshop on Kami's lookout, and actually able to expand the lookout a little bit, so he can make his own workshop, so he can create armors while also train with Goku from time to time. Both Goku and Armin were also able to go inside a time chamber. They're not able to last as long as the 1 year, but they were able to last actually 8 months. And in these 8 months, Armin is most likely trying to focus on increasing his ki sense alongside his ki control and strength. Goku is trying to improve his control or the grade A transformation. Of course, Kami decides to still take off Goku's tail, and eventually Goku decides to just do the same things as Tony. Eventually, Goku decides to see Tony as his older brother. Well, of course, Tony actually is not to accept Goku as his brother. If you're wondering, Bulma is kind of an Iron Woman. You could say, yeah, she's kind of a fighter, but not to the same extent as Tony. So, yeah. Bulma is the first Iron Woman in the story. So, yeah. If you're wondering, yes, she did fight Goku. Tony did join the adventure, if you guys, and I explained it in the beginning. So, yeah. For both Goku and Tony, their training will actually increase their powers a lot. Even Goku was able to surpass his original canon self a lot. Now, if you're wondering, Piccolo Jr. will mostly have a power level around 390 by the time that he finishes his training. While both Goku and Tony were actually much stronger than him. Even Tony's actually stronger than Piccolo, having a power level of 450 after training intensely. Also, his new armor that he calls the Mark X is actually incredibly strong and durable. This armor can actually take Goku's hits at full power, if not even take a full power Kamehameha straight to the face. So yeah. This just proves how Tony is able to practically create something that is able to equalize even the strongest versions of a Z Fighter. So yeah, if we're in the original Z Fighter still are the same as the original. If you're wondering, Goku will have a starting base power level of 630, thanks to Tony able to help him with Zenkai sometimes. Tony knows about Goku able to get Zenkais, but he does not decide to exploit it since he doesn't want Goku to get too strong, but he knows if they actually need to exploit it, they can do it at any time. So yeah. Both Tony and Goku are most likely able to, even if they're faced against Piccolo, they're most likely able to take him out. With of course both in the final battle in the tournament will most likely be between Goku and Tony. If you're wondering, the damage in the tournament most likely will not be the same because of Tony practically preventing Piccolo from doing so. So yeah. Both Tony and Goku will prepare their fighting stance, with Tony deciding to pick up his arm and armor, deciding to pour out the original Mark III with a little bit of upgrades that he managed to add to it. With the armor able to increase Goku, well, of course, Goku telling him that will increase his power. With Tony telling him that he just give him a little bit of a boost, but nothing else. So his power level is able to skyrocket from 450 to around 600, able to almost equalize Goku. Eventually, both warriors, one genius and one, of course, battle strategist, were able to fight against one another. Seeming as they're both almost equally matched, as all the Z fighters are actually surprised by Tony able to keep up with Goku. Even Bulma is actually surprised that Tony is able to practically create an armor actually durable to take even Goku's hits, even though he can practically destroy the moon if he wanted to. Practically, this is why I practically make both Goku and Tony incredibly strong. With both of them, of course, this battle will most likely end in a draw because of them both being incredibly powerful and close in power. But I'm gonna say that Tony actually is able to get the win instead of Goku. If only in the previous tournament, Goku was actually able to get the win against Tenshinhan because of his training with Tony. So yeah, with Tony able to get the win, of course, gain the prize money, but he decides to give it to Goku and Chi-Chi. Seeing as the scene their wedding, of course. Tony would have been on the wedding of Goku and Chi-Chi, with of course being happy for his, of course, best friend of seeing him that way. Of course, Tony decides to actually make an offer for Goku that can actually withstand his punches and maybe even try out, but Goku just decided to train his own body and not rely on something else. Tony, of course, respects Goku's choice, but he tells it if he wants to, he can upgrade the armor, so if he needs it just in case. Well, Goku decides to accept it just in case, of course. Of course, she decides to actually pick up the Arm and Woman armor that Tony is able to grant her. Of course, Pepper as well. Pepper does marry Tony after Goku and Chi-Chi married each other. But eventually, both Chi and Goku having Gohan. Now, if you guys wonder, yes, Tony will be an uncle to Gohan, and Pepper will also be an auntie to Gohan. Both of them being incredibly smart and intelligent, they're easy able to help Gohan practically educate much more faster and actually have much more free time around the town. Eventually, Tony's actually able to show him much more things and how to not be lonely. He's a kid, so he does. And Tony's actually not that scared of Chi-Chi, even though she's incredibly terrifying to Goku, she's not that terrifying to Tony. Even Pepper is not terrified of her, so yeah. Tony's finally able to show his dominance against Chi-Chi and telling her that Goku is his own person and not her, so yeah. With this, Tony is most likely able to practically convince Chi-Chi and able to help Gohan actually go as his own person. Now, that doesn't mean that Tony and Goku does not get much more powerful. Both of them are actually much stronger than the original timeline. Goku is actually able to get close to a power of 1000, being at a power of 950, and Tony in his base form is actually able to keep up a little bit. Had a power of 750, and when he actually uses his new Mark X2, his power will skyrocket 5 times, which will increase his power level to around a power level of 3750, which practically will make him stronger than Raditz when he appeared. But guys, this is the end of this part. Make sure to subscribe, check out my channel. Also, I'm going to be covering the Saiyan Saga in the next part. Make sure to subscribe, and see you next time.